What's up, guys? Welcome back to Love After, a branch off series from After the Island. We have some of our first guests today. We have Kayla and Seb. Welcome.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you guys. And for our listeners, you guys are from Too Hot to Handle, which is a reality love dating show from Netflix that you guys did. What year was your guys' season in? Season 4.
We did season 4, so we are 2 seasons ago. So there's season 5 out now.
Oh, wow. Is it, and it's season 5's airing right now?
Season 5
or it's out?
Came out, a few months back.
Now, I watched your season. It was...
I'm sorry.
No, it's so funny. Well, it's funny how you guys were not originally together, and then you kind of find each other.
Yeah, so funny.
Partially through the show. But wait, how did you guys first end up on the show?
So I got scouted on Instagram.
Okay.
Honestly, at the time, like, I was living in LA, and I was a micro influencer, I would say. Like, honestly, no clue how they found me, genuinely. But I thought it was a scam at first.
I was going to say, a ton of people always say they think it's a scam.
They send you this gimmicky picture of, like, this fake villa in some random island, and it's like, join us on Wild Love. And I'm like, am I going to, like, go get sex trafficked?
Yeah. I had kind of the same experience. It was a message on Instagram, except I knew this wasn't a scam because I was getting interviewed for Love Island at the time, actually. And it's
which version?
Well, the UK one.
Oh, the UK one.
And it's the same production company, I believe, or it's
ITV.
ITV, but the producers are all the same, like the cast.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So they were like, actually, like, would you go on this show called Wild Love? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. They were like, well, you race cars, and like Wild Love's all about like adrenaline-filled dates and stuff like that. So I was like, yes, absolutely. Like, this sounds great.
So they're pitching it like this is gonna be more tailored to you.
Yes, exactly that. So like
yeah, because they didn't tell me any of that, or else I wouldn't even gone on.
Did you guys know it was Netflix?
They kind of give it away that's Netflix, or like a major platform.
Major platform. Okay, I see. So you guys end up on the show. It's awesome, and it's not filmed in real time. Like, it comes out how many months after you get back? A year?
Yeah, so I was a whole year older by the time it came out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you like go back to
it's nuts.
You like go back to your normal life for like a year.
Yeah.
And you're just like so weird because you're like
you can't tell anyone what happened either.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah.
So we were like dating and we couldn't tell anyone either.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. So Love the Island, it's like real time. So you come back and you're all of a sudden like, whoa.
Which could arguably be harder than what we had to go, like, arguably. So we had like our tough moments of like having to keep everything secret, but I reckon to come out of like a TV show and be like bombarded with fame must be kind of scary.
It's a lot. It's very overwhelming, and I think that's kind of where one of the original ideas started for creating this podcast was the aftermath of everything, of like what happens after, because it's so unique, and I don't think people are going to really understand it unless you've done it yourself, because it's so, and even like listening to you guys say you spent a whole year together without people knowing has got to be weird, because I'm sure other couples from the show, they break up in that period, but you can't let that news get out. And then when it, like, the show does launch, like, you have to appear to still be, you know, on good terms, even if you're not.
We took a little break.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We did break up once.
Yeah. But because of, it was hard adjusting, or what?
Hard to adjust. It was like the long distance. Remember, I was in Scotland at the time.
You're right.
Yeah. So we had to be secret. We had to deal with long distance, and like.
And it's like at the time too, we were both working like normal jobs.
Yeah.
So it's not like the freedom that we have now, you know, working as content creators and traveling.
Right.
You know, actually working while we travel. It was like, I need to go like back to my job. And, you know, it's like I can't just come.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and that really like plays a toll on your mental health too. Like, that's also not easy to like film, be like on cloud 9, you know, in love, and then all of a sudden right back to completely
nothing's different.
I was going to say completely forgotten about, but we had a welfare producer who, like, she's amazing. Like, she kept me sane throughout the whole process. So like, thanks to her, we kept like.
Yeah,
sane.
I even I had a really hard time after the show, actually, because it was, you know, we all struggle with like mental health and such, and those kind of shows can be really hard on your mental. And I went to Scotland like immediately.
Hard on your mental.
I went to Scotland immediately after the show to go spend the holidays with him and his family, and I just kind of like threw myself into like his world. And I feel like I almost kind of lost myself in a way because I was just gone for 2 months without any of my friends, without my phone, without anything, without my family. And then I just go and spend the holidays with him, and I'm like, we're in love. But then we kind of realized, like, we've known each other for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was
weird.
like,
but we thought we knew each other like to the T. Like,
oh, I
we
know.
Like,
oh, yeah, but
I
we're
love
like,
her.
actually, there's like so many hard and like serious conversations we need to have. And yeah, we were kind of like, maybe we don't know each other.
It's because it's weird. You almost get to know each other backwards when you do a show like that,
Oh, yeah.
because you're doing all the like really serious stuff, and then you come back and you're like, well, what time do you wake up in the morning? Because this is what time I wake up at. Like, it's very weird. Like, you go back to the basics and you re-meet the person all over again.
Exactly.
It's really strange.
It was weird. It was so weird.
So after Scotland, I decided to, because I had been living in LA for like a year, but I'm from Portland, Oregon originally.
Okay.
So I decided, I was like, the best thing for me is honestly to just go back to Oregon for a while. And like, I worked at my old job and I lived in Oregon for a while, and it was really, really mind clearing. I mean, like, Oregon's like forest, full of trees. I got to feed my squirrels every day, and I missed that so much. Like,
squirrels.
And my hometown is just like so wholesome, honestly. Best thing I could have ever done for myself. And then I came back to LA like I never left.
What was your job that you went back to that you did in Portland?
I worked in coffee.
Oh, I love that. That's cute.
I worked in coffee since like out of high school.
I like that job of hers.
Yeah, it's cute.
Because she was up at like crazy times.
Yeah.
So like it would be more on my time zone.
Like,
So like,
I'd start at like 4:45 a.m. You know.
Right.
We have a place called Dutch Bros and Black Rock, and they're all like really popular
Yeah.
in like the Oregon, Washington area. So yeah, that's what I did for years.
Oh.
Along with social media.
I love that.
I'm
Yeah.
Still, you know, doing my social media, but on a much smaller scale.
Do you think doing the social media before you went on the show too helped you for the afterward part of social media?
1,000%. Like, I feel like my knowledge on it has not also, like, it's also helped Seb.
Yeah. I was
like
gonna say, were you
very
able to get help
prepared.
from her then?
And I was also a reality TV show fan. And, you know, you can tell, like, you follow them after, and then you see who flops and who like continues, and
so you can see like what are the moves that I need to make to make this like sustainable. And I think that's like such a good point you bring up, because you can totally look at a full roster of people that have done reality shows and you could say, all right, these 5 have gone on to be really successful and recreated themselves in these ways. What did they do? And then these are people that just kind of like went back to what they were doing before. Maybe they didn't love that world, like not for them, or maybe it was like they didn't know what to do, because it's a really weird learning curve once you get back.
I feel like there's like a false narrative that like it's easy.
Yes.
Like what we do.
Yeah.
And yes, it is a luxury, and I'm so blessed and grateful every day to be able to be a content creator and be able to be an influencer and do what I do. But I wouldn't say it's easy.
Right.
It's so much grinding and networking and about who you know, not what you know, and putting yourself out there and like being on it, like posting on every single platform all the time. And it can be draining, especially when you're like, I need a me day. No, you need to post that me day. You need to do that face mask.
Nothing's private no more.
Yeah. Even traveling, like your vacation, it's not a vacation. You're working.
Exactly. And and here's the thing, it's like, and don't take this wrong way, but it's a women's world. The social media world.
There's way more opportunity for women, but now I think as the market becomes more saturated, tables might turn, but I don't know.
I hope. Like for the. But it's too against one right now.
There's very few industries in this world that are women dominated. And this one is women dominated. It's going to stay that way. Because men have literally everything else. Men have everything else.
No, I think for a man, considering like my lack of knowledge in social media, because I never really watched much TV. Like I was a very much like outdoor kid, right? Didn't really watch TV. Wasn't really that interested in social media.
Okay.
So I had to really learn how to do this.
Okay, so what was your job before you went on the show?
I had loads. Like my dad put me through the ring. So I raced cars. That was my dream. That was my ultimate like job to the top.
Okay.
That's really, really what I wanted to do. At the same time, I started off life as a bin man.
A what?
A garbage man.
Oh, garbage.
Okay.
There's a language barrier here.
Got it.
A garbage man. And so my dad owned a waste management company, had me working and like doing the garbage stuff. And honestly, one of my favourite jobs this day. And I'm not ashamed to say it. And not a lot of people know that about me, that like I did really start from the bottom kind of thing. And one of my favourite jobs. I absolutely loved it. Worked my way up there. My dad sacked me because at the time I was 16 years old. I wasn't taken serious. I just thought I'm going to be the boss, you know? Like,
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
because his dad owned the company.
So your dad
Yeah.
fired you.
He fired me. He was like, you're not impressing me right now. He was like, I remember my first day in the office, I got promoted to the office, and I turned up in a 3-piece suit, thinking I was like Conor McGregor or something.
Stop.
Like, I swear to God, turned up in a 3-piece suit, and my dad always, he was always in work like 5 a.m, and I would turn up like normal time, like 8 a.m, whatever. I turned up in a 3-piece suit at 8, and he's like, what the fuck are you wearing? I remember, that's exactly what he said. He was like, what the fuck are you wearing? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm in my suit. I'm in the office today. Had my briefcase. I had nothing in it.
It was like a briefcase.
An empty briefcase. Just like I was just proud. I was
Like out of a movie.
even and my mum was just as bad. Like she was like, oh my God, like she's Latina, so you can imagine. Like, seeing her son in a three-piece suit, like briefcase. She was like, oh my God, let me take pictures of you. Like she was loving it. And anyway, my dad sent me home, and I had to get changed again. Came back in, and he had me shredding paper for like the first day of the office.
Oh yeah, you gotta put
And
in the
then-
work.
And then
Humbled
eventually got
him.
sacked. Yeah. I wasn't good enough at shredding paper. I got sacked. And then I went off to normal jobs, and then I went to a building site
Okay.
and started building
So
houses,
construction.
Yeah.
construction, all while racing. So I was racing and doing construction.
Trying to like make it to higher levels
yeah.
with racing. Okay.
Racing's so
Racing
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah, because you
this
need
is-
like sponsors and
it's
just
nuts.
all that.
Sponsor, and the better you get, the more expensive it gets. It's the
Oh,
only
that makes
sport
sense,
that gets
'cause
more
the-
expensive the better you get. It's nuts. So long story short, I still race, but right up until the TV show, worked at a building site, left the TV show and went back to the building site. 'Cause everyone did. Everyone went back to work. And again, I loved the building site. It taught me so much, and thank God, because her dad's like a man's man. Like,
Yes.
if you don't know how a hammer and nail works, like you're not good enough for
Yeah,
my
that's
daughter.
how
So.
you won the points, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
my dad is like, if a man doesn't know one of the trades, then he's like not
So
a man,
I
which
knew
is
the
very
trade.
toxic masculinity, but that's just my dad in a nutshell.
Now she gets me hanging shelves, like.
Oh yeah,
TVs,
I was
like-
gonna say you got
I'm
a
a handyman
built-in
around here, but I love
handyman.
it. I sent her
Yeah.
off to Miami. I'm like, look,
It's probably really
darling.
therapeutic.
Yeah.
He
When
does
she went
think
off
it
to
is.
Miami, like I was like, sweetheart, like you go to Miami. It was Art Basel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you go, enjoy yourself. I'm gonna stay at home. I'm gonna put the TV up. I'm gonna measure out shelves. I'm gonna be like happy.
He called me, color coordinated my closet,
yeah. I was like, yeah.
and I'm just like
my
drunk for
God.
3 days in Art Basel.
Yeah, all the guys, like, we were just with a friend of ours there, and he was like, "Where's your boyfriend? Like, why is he sent you to
I was
Miami
like, oh, he's
alone?"
at home measuring shelves.
Yeah, I loved it. I was happy. I trust her. I'm like,
Yeah.
you gotta have the trust when you're long distance.
So in this period too, like of you guys going back to your jobs and then you're waiting for the show to come out and they're like finally telling you, you know, were you guys nervous? Like, okay, what if the show flops?
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
or like you must just be praying like, man, I hope everyone loves it. And
Yeah.
and you also don't know how you've been edited or cut.
I knew
Remind
I was
you
doing it
either.
right.
So you got to be
Yeah.
thinking like, okay, did you like? I would spend the whole time stressing, being like, did I talk shit about everybody? Did I do something bad? Am I gonna be the villain?
I'm a bit
Or would you just
toxic.
know? Or would you just be like, no, I know it's gonna be
No,
fine.
honestly,
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like I completely understand where you're coming from, and I have a lot of friends that have been on reality TV that have kind of had those same feelings. But my thing was just like, am I gonna be as good as I think I am in my head? You know, because I was like, I think
Yeah.
I just smashed that.
Yeah.
Like I like confidence through the roof, but like I have some confidence, you know. And I was like, and I didn't care. Like I knew the moments I talked shit, and I was like, I really hope they air them.
yeah,
Because my shit talking was, I felt that in
Yeah.
that moment. And
It was
it's
real.
Okay. It was
Yeah.
real. And I never want to be like edited to be like this, like, oh, like she never gets upset about anything type of girl, like, oh,
Right.
whatever. So
Right.
I wanted it to reflect me.
yeah,
And I feel like it ended up actually reflecting me, which I'm happy about.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I always say, reality TV, like you get a great edit, it's great,
yeah.
Yeah.
and if you get a bad edit, it's horrible.
Yes. I have some friends that have gotten some.
Like
pretty
from
bad
your
edits.
season or other seasons or
Well,
both.
even from my season, yeah, I
Yeah.
would say so. Like, you know, Dom kind of got shafted a little bit.
Creed got shot. Creed got.
Oh, I
No,
don't.
that he did. What was on the
did-
show is
Creed's a nice
exactly
guy.
what he did
It's
on the
ex-
show.
He did do what's on the show, but
I would say
Creed's a nice guy.
Yes.
what
he
happens
is.
is sometimes people do get these edits where you're like, all right, that's you, and maybe you suck a little bit, but then what the problem is
Yeah.
is the hate
don't
that
own
comes
it.
with the social media that
Well,
they don't
that's it.
deserve.
And Creed got.
And
the
then people are
hardest time.
like,
He did.
Forget, like, these people are human. You can't be sending death threats over someone who's an asshole for 24 hours because we all know, like, hundreds of those people, like, they don't deserve that. It gets really out of hand, which is crazy.
It does. The hate gets really out of hand.
It's wild.
In general. Like, even now, like, I have a lot of gay best friends. I don't know. You know, like, the girls and the gays, we are one, you know? And I'll post with one of my gay best friends, and I'll start getting, like, massive hate that, like, I'm cheating on Seb. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was, where are you going with this?
Like, I'm cheating on Seb publicly, posting it on my story, like, for sure.
People get crazy like that.
Nuts. And even I'm sitting at home, like, minding my own business, drinking my cup of tea, because I'm British.
Yeah. I just let it go right over my head by now.
Kayla's out cheating on you, and I'm like, what? And obviously, you get that, like, little hot, like,
you're like, well, I mean, it has to get you to at some point, or at first, like, you're adjusting to it because you're not used to this, and it's like random people messaging you that you're like clicking, you're like, okay, is this like a real person? Is this a fake account that's messaging me this? Like, is this credible or not? Because I know someone from, like, our franchise that was cheated on. It was caught by a fan, and the fan sent a bunch of videos and stuff over. So it's crazy. Fan. Yeah, but it's crazy because it's like, what do you trust? What do you not? You're getting an influx of these messages. You're not used to this. That's not normal to have, like, and then it's also not normal to be out and feel like, okay, I'm just out with my friends. Even if I'm just out with my guy friends and I'm being watched and a guy friend buys me a drink, like, that's not weird to me, but yet, like, it could be made into this whole thing. Yeah. It's really crazy.
That actually happened to us, and again, a fan sent Kayla a picture. I was out, long story short.
But it was real.
It was
with a girl at a restaurant that I didn't know about.
She didn't know. But here's the thing. And here's the thing, right? It's sus. Of course it's sus. I understand it's sus.
It would have been a lot less sus if I knew about it.
But let me get to the story. So we were all out for drinks, right? And
I wasn't there.
I'm over here sweating for you.
I was sweating.
I'm like, explain yourself.
The thing is, I knew the truth.
Yeah,
and
right.
I was like, fuck, how the fuck am I going to explain this?
Yeah.
But I knew the truth. I knew I didn't do anything wrong, but I was like, is she going to believe my truth is the question. So we were out for drinks in London, and I wasn't really up for drinking that much anyway. So anyway, everyone was like, right, we're going to continue going out. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for food in Chinatown, which is like just around the corner, for noodles and shit, right? Mm-hmm. And then this girl, who I knew, she was a friend of mine, she was like, I don't really want to go out either. She was like, I'm just going to go for some food with you if that's all right. And I was like, yeah, of course. So it wasn't, like, planned to the point where I felt like, okay, I need to message Kayla now and say, by the way, I'm going out for dinner with this girl. In hindsight, I probably should have anyway. Yeah. But I was like,
because he calls her a friend, but he doesn't, they're not friends.
We are.
They don't talk on the daily. And it's some girl he met because she was kind of talking to one of his friends, and I'm like, I never trust those type of
you always gotta have an eye out. But
she had a boyfriend too and was talking to him. Great. Like, that's so
like, I'm like, I see both sides a little bit here, but I'm more so like, you gotta give the heads up. But that builds kind of like, I think when you work through things like that too, it's like when you start establishing like, okay, we're gonna have to decide that we're gonna trust each other, because like if we don't, then like this doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like our trust is through the roof.
It has to be.
It has to be, because you're at like the high stakes of like, you're gonna be tested constantly.
Yes. No, of course. And the thing is, it probably didn't start off so trusting. It started off like both of us maybe getting a bit psycho from time to time. I don't think being psycho at the start of a relationship is that bad. Everyone's like, it's red flags, like girlfriends and guy friends. I know.
I just want to hear this. Yeah, sorry, I laughed. I'm down to hear it.
Wait just now.
I will hear it. I will hear you out.
He's crazy.
No. But watch what you're saying on the podcast. But genuinely, like at the start of a relationship, like there's teething problems, right? Mm-hmm. You've got to get through certain like barriers that maybe you had something in like a previous relationship that like maybe fucked you a little bit, and like with this new relationship, it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows like right off rip. You're going to have to learn a bit off each other, and like, you know, like the messages, like who are you with, like who is this guy that you're all of a sudden with, or like
you did that to me the other, like not even too long ago, and then I told him who it was. He goes, oh right,
shit.
He's one of my best friends.
He's one of my friends. I didn't recognize him.
I know him.
Like, who the fuck's this guy with the arm round you, like, and you know what I mean? And then I realized
would you say any of this would attest to like a cultural barrier? Just because sometimes I find
Absolutely.
that European
100%.
men are a lot more intense in relationships and than like someone American would be.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Like, I would say the difference between like American and like European men mostly is there's two main differences. One is better, one is a little more intense. One, I would say their manners, way better. Like through the roof with the manners. Like car door open type of vibe, you know?
Right.
Also, like the way they dress a lot more than American guys. And then there's the other hand of where they're like way more intense on just like, I guess relationships in general, like they take things very seriously, you know, and the fights are their fights. You know?
I've noticed it's like more polarizing in my experience. Like the highs are like super high, lows are super low. Like it's just a lot. Like it's like you said, the intensity is different.
Because your boyfriend is.
Previous people. He's from Montreal, Canada. I'm like, that's basically American.
You're chill.
I'm like, he's
chill.
Midwest to me. Like he is not even American to me. He's like straight up Midwest.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So he does not feel like foreign to me at all. But like I've dated people though, like that are from Europe, and I've seen like the intensity. And same with like friends, I've seen it where I'm like, okay, I think that this is just like a big cultural barrier.
Just culture.
And we see this a lot through seasons too. Like when I see people coming on, and I'm like, okay, this person's from Colombia. Like they're gonna be a little bit fiery than someone else that's, you know, from Milwaukee. Like it's just how it's gonna be.
Well,
so you can start to see it to all. That would make a lot of sense too.
Yeah, 1,000%. I would say cultural differences was hard for us at first too.
This sounds like I'm a right psychopath. I promise I'm not. I'm
Like,
actually really laid back.
On the flight back from the show, like I'm assuming you guys got to like sit next to each other, or like the minute the show stops recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in general, like you go back to the hotels after, you know, you're at the show ends. What are like those initial conversations of like, what are we gonna prepare ourselves? Oh, they really?
I know what you're trying to say though. Like the
first
time that
the first time you read me outside the show, but that is weird.
Cut filming.
Yeah.
Oh, we cut and it was do whatever you want.
Really?
Oh,
no,
because ours is lifetime, so people had already seen it,
Yeah.
so it didn't really matter what you did.
No, so to answer your question, like the first time we managed to like meet up outside the show, it was like kind of normal. Because we felt like we knew each other, so there was no like awkward like.
Where was it?
conversation. Scotland.
Oh, so that was the first time you saw him, was when you went back to Scotland.
Yeah, we like.
Oh, that's really strange then.
Very
okay,
strange.
what you're saying
Christmas
of like,
Eve.
yeah,
Christmas Eve,
okay.
Like
it was a quick goodbye at the airport. She got on her flight to LA. I got on my flight to Scotland, and then we met back up in Scotland. Yeah.
How many days later? Like how many days did you come
like
home for?
a week and a half.
A week and a half.
2
Yeah.
weeks?
I would even say. Well, no, we finished filming it on like the 15th of December or something like that. So it must have been like,
long.
yeah.
That to me is so crazy.
It was crazy. It was like a mind fuck.
Another thing that I experienced on a whole other note of like a mind fuck that I wasn't ready for, I'm wondering, I know you guys have this happening too, was the people that would come after me about like what's next immediately. Like when I was still in my Love Island relationship, people were like, when are you guys getting married? When are you putting a label on the relationship? When are you getting pregnant? Or like, or are you pregnant?
Did you see the blow up that happened?
No, but it happens all the time. It's insane.
We started the pot. We probably shouldn't have started it, and we like pretended.
Oh, you like teased it a little.
It was by accident. We by accident.
We get messages constantly like, when are you gonna get married? Are you pregnant? Like, is he gonna propose? Like,
that pressure is crazy.
It is crazy.
It's annoying.
But then it was actually in Florida for Christmas. We're at the beach with my family, and he's standing behind me just like he normally does,
watching the manatees,
like holding me. But the way I look down, he's holding me kind of like I thought I was pregnant, and I was like, this is kind of
it's
funny.
Comfy.
But we were just literally standing there like that. I'm not pregnant. And he was holding me like that, and I thought it was funny. So I was like, let me just take like a cute video of like the sunset, and then I know that this will just make people go crazy, and it did.
Yeah. People
we were just eating
love
like
that
crazy.
Shit.
She had a little like food baby going on, and I was like, this is quite comfy. Like, it's like the perfect like handful. So that's what happened.
But I didn't think it would stir the pot as much as it did. But,
it started majorly.
Yeah, because it's everyone's dream. They see you guys like fall in love on TV, and they want it to continue after.
Yeah.
And that's like part of the pressure is like feeling like, you know, you have the relationship that you have that's like very separate from everything from the show. You know, it's like obviously very real, and it's also real in the other regard too. But like, it's part of now. You know, you guys have like career mixed into it. You have your social media mixed into it. Like, it's a very weird balance.
It is weird balance, and I think, like, so far, I think the long distance is probably saved us sometimes. It allows us to get. I saw you like putting fireballs into my head, but like no, but genuinely, I think
because he was supposed to move here, and it's been 2.5.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
years.
say, do you live here now?
Nearly.
Okay.
No, but visas. I'm
okay.
working on getting a visa, but which is fine. No, but genuinely, I think the long distance is like Kayla loves her own space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like my own space, but when I'm in company, I love company.
He's a physical touch. Like,
I'm like a cuddle, like I'm like
Yeah.
a koala, like I am
Like, this is
all
the
over.
Italian
and my
coming
love
out.
language
Yeah.
is what is it? Acts of service.
Yeah,
Acts of
I was gonna
service.
say acts of service
Acts
is
of
what I would have
service
guessed.
to a person, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, the long distance allows us both to like get back to like our own spaces,
Doing our
miss
own
each
thing.
other again, like
Yeah.
re-sparks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say resparks.
I'm saying,
again
but
because
like
it
you could
sounds
do that for like a weekend. You could do that for like a
Well,
day or
the thing
two.
is, like,
You go to
do.
a friend's house for 2 hours.
Yeah, no, but we do because like when I'm here, she'll sometimes have to fly to Mexico, for
Yeah.
example, or
Yeah.
you know, we're considering maybe going to New York.
Yeah.
Where she
That'll
might go,
that'll
I
be a
might go.
perfect balance.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we will
that's
get
what
that
I
balance.
think. I think like, okay, so also too on the show, like when we were obviously when at night when we're like talking and stuff, and we're like, how are we gonna make this work and stuff, and he was always like, I would love to move to LA, and so I was like, done, great, like
This
I had
works.
never been to LA at
Oh
this
no.
point.
Oh no.
But yeah, so we're still trying to work on getting him to move here.
I'm going to move to LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
I reckon I can see myself here a couple years.
All right, cool. We got that on recording now, so
Yeah.
you're
No,
stuck
no,
to
absolutely, no, that's what's happening. That is what's
Yeah.
happening. This is, but she wants to like start a family, and I'm like,
No, who said that?
you're like, I want to be here the rest of my life.
He's like, I want the baby rumors.
Oh, but don't go and tell people that I'm ready to start a family right now.
No, not right now. But she's like, she wants to be in LA the rest of her life, like start a family. I'm like, I don't see this as like a family.
I don't want to be in the center of Hollywood the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But I like California.
Yeah.
The weather.
There's a ton of neighborhoods in LA.
unbeatable.
You got to
Yeah,
take him on
I
a
know.
tour around all
I
the
know.
I know.
outside neighborhoods because like
There's so
it'd
many.
be
and
really hard.
He's just
being
like
right
he sees
in
like
LA.
you know Hollywood because I live like right. I
Mhm.
am moving too. I'm thinking more.
Hey, I live on the
better.
west side and I love it.
Do you?
Yeah.
West,
See, that's
yeah.
kinda,
I would never
that's
come
where-
back
Hollywood's
That's
where
where
it's
I'm
at.
thinking.
That's
Yeah.
where it's at.
I love it.
That's where I'm thinking.
I
But
My
like
quality
West
of
Hollywood.
life makes sense there.
yes, of
Yeah.
course. But like right now, of course, there's homeless people on the sidewalk. But I'm from
That's
Portland,
everywhere.
Oregon.
That's everywhere.
We have
funny.
homeless people everywhere.
Go
there
to New
too,
York.
So I
It's
grew
actually
up-
not
literally
funny,
everywhere.
but we've got a funny story about that. So my culture of like when you see somebody homeless, like you
Oh,
help them.
no.
Like
Yeah.
they're all like they're having a hard time in the street. Like you go like you help them.
Yeah.
I do anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just
What do you mean you help? Like you help them cross the street?
oh I'll help homeless like actively help homeless people.
Got it. Got it.
Tried it in LA. Fuck me. Worst
Oh,
mistake
no.
in my life.
What happened?
She screamed at me.
Well, okay, so there was a guy like laying on the side of the street. You know, obviously on some type of drug. And Seb's like, "Oh, you think I should go help him up?" I said, "Do not
Oh
touch
my
him.
God.
He will hurt you."
Yeah,
And then
it's like a
one of
safety
them,
thing.
One of them punched Kayla. Like, because we got to remember when the line bikes.
I didn't get punched.
Did
What are
I
you
get
talking about?
punched?
You got touched.
Touched.
He got touched. He did
We
not
got
get
no,
punched.
but it was not touched. Like,
But she did freak
It
out.
was
So you
freaked
know
out on us.
how we've
Freaked
talked
out.
about
Yeah.
how he talks really loud.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been telling him this, and this day it affirmed it to him. He's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I believe it too now."
Yeah.
We're walking in Hollywood area, and we're gonna go ride these line bikes, just for fun. And
I
we're
love
like,
line bikes.
we're like,
No.
we're like
I
trying.
love them.
No, those
We're-
literally
They're
need
the
to be
best.
banned.
No, they're the best.
But we're trying them out. We're trying to get it activated, and he's talking to me, but he's screaming, he's yelling, like,
I'm
but
talking.
he's talking at his normal level, you
Yeah.
know. And this homeless lady's walking by, and she goes, "Are you talking to me? Are you saying something to me?" And she literally comes up and she like knocks all the bikes over, tries to touch me. I run back,
Oh.
and he's still not even knows what's
I
going
didn't
on.
realize she was talking to
Has
us.
no
I was on my phone
idea.
figuring out the
and
line
she
bike.
comes up to him and like pushes him on the shoulder.
Oh,
You
no.
talking to me? And he's like, "No."
I was like, nah.
And I go,
was like-
"You scream, that's why." And he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, I'm so scared. Do I go like get a tetanus shot or something?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, they're
Well,
not nice."
That's
to you."
yeah. The rule of thumb in LA is you just kind of if you want to help out, there's
Sad.
organizations you can
I
donate
know,
to,
I
and that's
know,
gonna
and
help a lot
Well,
more
that's
than
the
like
Because we have too
you gotta
big of a
just it's
problem
not
here
safe
that-
to like
It needs to something needs to change.
and it like
there needs to be
emulates the
some sort of,
problem
like,
the more you
support
like
system.
you know condone the behavior.
1,000%. It's like if I see like a guy in a wheelchair that it has a veteran sign, like obviously,
Yeah, they're-
like he has no choice. But if someone's on the side of the street, like obviously
Yeah,
on
maybe
drugs,
just let them be.
Let them
Yeah.
be.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
hard though,
Right.
isn't it? It's hard because
Yeah.
you feel like I'm in a position to help. I can help, and
He's just so innocent.
All right, so other than helping the homeless, what else is next for you guys?
she wants
what
a
else?
puppy.
You want a puppy?
And I don't want help the
yes.
puppy. I don't want help that.
Why
That
not?
is- no, man. She
It's good
doesn't need
practice
one.
for
Tell
future.
her what happened to your last
Listen,
cat. Tell her what
I
happened.
will be getting
Yeah.
a mini Pomeranian
Cute.
in the very near future, and it's not his decision because
You
it's
travel
my
too
dog.
much. She travels too much.
It
She's, like,
is hard
too
when you travel to have a
spontaneous.
dog.
Yes,
But
but
you
I
could
have-
bring a Pomeranian like everywhere with you if it's small.
Exactly.
Tell her
bring
what
it.
happened to
And
your
I
cat.
have a best friend that wants to like co-parent my dog with me.
Oh, that'd be
So-
perfect.
Ask her about her last cat, Jen.
Oh no, okay, I have to ask what happened to the cat.
I had Jet when I went on the show,
Uh-huh.
and I've always been a cat person, and he was never that nice of a cat. He was like a free alley cat,
Yeah.
you know. I think he just came with some issues. So
We didn't. We
he
didn't.
did. And then obviously I went away on the show, but I left him with my best friend that he had known his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Left him with her, and then when I came back, it was just like, well, while I was gone, I had to get him on anxiety meds.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah,
like,
animals get distressed.
he was like super
How
distressed.
does a cat get anxiety?
But it
They're
was
the
weird
most
because he
chill-
was young. You know, it wasn't like he had been with me for like 5 years or something. He was probably only like 7 months old when I
Oh,
left.
wow.
And then I left him with my friend for like 3 or 4 months. So it was just weird. Like, he had all these issues for no reason. No other pets in the house, no nothing.
Yeah.
And then when I finally got him back, like, we were all right. And then one day I was like holding him like I usually do, like saying hi. And he kicked me in the mouth. And it was black and blue right here for weeks. Like, it was the
Oh,
hardest
I
no.
thing
witnessed
ever.
it.
It was crazy. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen a cat do.
But like,
so what happened to
they're
the
not
cat?
I gave him away.
Yeah.
I gave him to that best friend that
Yeah,
he
she
was
then
with.
took him.
I gave him to her grandma.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
but
As
that
long as
just
he
shows,
gets
like,
rehomed.
this lifestyle does not support pets.
but
Yeah,
I'm not
it
gonna
is.
go
It is
in.
hard, but
It's tough because
it's hard. I have a lot of help, and I'm home a lot. So,
What
but
do
I
you
have a
have?
dog. I have a dog though.
what do you
so.
have?
It's like a mutt. It's like a little rescue dog.
Oh, see, they're
Yeah.
the type of dogs that I like. She doesn't want me to get any like rough looking dogs.
Yeah,
like- I
he's
like
he's
rough.
real scruffy
it's not-
looking.
I love.
He's
Oh my god, let
But
me
it's
see.
not your
Scruffy.
dog. It's my dog.
I know,
Yeah.
but I love the like. rough
It's
dogs.
funny because I had said I wanted a cockapoo my whole life,
Yeah.
and I was so certain on the breed and everything. I was like, I have it all planned, and then I started fostering dogs when I was like upset. I was like, I'll foster
yeah.
some dogs in the meantime to
Yeah.
see if I can like take care of it. And then I had a scruffy one. I was like, I have to keep it.
Our friend Charlie's just had a bunch of puppies of like cockapoos.
Oh, cute! I love
No.
Yeah, I love
What is it? What
cockapoos.
is it?
Golden doodles.
Is that the same
Oh,
thing,
golden,
kind of?
no, they're different, but both like
Poodles, though.
hypoallergenic good
Both have
dogs.
poodle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want a dog.
Yes,
What
I
do,
want a dog.
what are the other moves? You might potentially move to LA.
I
What
mean-
other things do we have coming up?
Racing again.
Racing again?
Yeah, I was just in the Daytona 24-hour there
Oh wow,
for some meetings
fun,
on race teams.
cool.
So and I want to race in America.
What is that? So let's say like that happens. Yeah, like you end up racing in America.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you guys then? Like, do you end up on the road for his like racing and stuff,
No.
or
Open.
Like-
I
if
would
she
go like when it works with my schedule.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't like, you know, I'm not gonna be one of those girlfriends that's like just goes and does whatever he does.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't make me happy. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
continue to work and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
That's
fair.
fair enough.
No,
and
it's
then,
fair.
And the thing
And
is,
go to the ones you want to go
And
to
the
and
ones
space it
that
out and
work,
whatnot. Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, she want to go.
Yeah,
to
I
the
think
fun
it's a good
ones.
plan.
Yeah, I want to go to the fun ones.
Yeah.
Which is quite right.
Yeah.
That's fine. You came to a couple more races this season. though. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a job as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's really a job.
You don't want
for
to be
him.
around me during the race. and,
No.
like,
He's not
That
very
would be
fun.
stressful.
No.
He's
Yeah.
very focused, like, very, like, I'm not even there anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's not a fun race and, like, there's not much going on,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm kind of just like, hey. Like,
Pretty much.
Yeah,
like I just heard my
on my
mum though,
low.
like get drunk because my mum hates it. She hates
Yeah.
racing.
oh, yeah.
It's so
him-
scary. I'm
She
like
hates it,
afraid of
so
it
His
she
too.
mom and I will have some wine together, and
Yeah.
that's fun. I love that. I'm very, very close with this family. That's another
That's
thing.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
important.
That's
for me.
important too, and you don't get that on reality shows when you meet someone because you don't
Yes,
know
you
like what they're
don't
gonna be like after. You don't know
know.
what the families are like too, the friends, and so that
Yes.
can be really interesting, introducing and mixing all
My
of that into because
friends-
it's all backwards, like
Yeah.
you said.
Because
My
it's
friends
very
love her.
interesting to see, like, Because when you know a person, but you like don't know their friends, I feel like you don't fully know.
Yeah,
that
you don't.
person
It's so weird.
Or their family, you know,
It's
because
so
you gotta know like
strange.
who they hang around.
Yeah,
and,
it's
like,
a part
who
of you.
raised them.
It's really a part of you, and how you live your
100%.
life too.
Yes, how do you live your
And
life?
you forget all those things like exist in a relationship when you meet someone at a show. It's so
Like,
backwards.
thank goodness
Yeah.
there's like certain things that I feel like I just wouldn't tolerate in a boyfriend, and those were never a problem. Like Seb wakes up early, like he doesn't
like
play
motivated,
video games.
does all his different jobs. And
Yes,
you guys,
like he does.
yeah, you
his
guys
own
seem to
not
be
a
very
gamer.
busy, which is good.
Yeah,
You guys have a
this
lot
world,
going
I
on,
wish I
which is
was a
awesome.
gamer. There seems to be more money in gaming than like.
Well,
Oh
that's
yeah,
the
there
thing.
definitely is.
If you're gonna make money in gaming, sure,
Yeah,
but there is
that's-
plenty of men that just
Like I'm thinking like Gran Turismo right now.
Yeah, I love the Gran
Like
Turismo.
thinking Gran Turismo.
But I got it's funny. Like she says, I'm not a gamer. Like I am not a gamer, but
Yeah.
I downloaded this stupid like
oh,
you know like
don't
on
get us
Instagram like you
started.
come across a game and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna download it. For the first time
But
ever,
he
I
gets
downloaded this game.
obsessed.
I got obsessed with it. Like
I'd never seen him play a game before, and then literally he was like, I gotta.
What game
make
is
my
this?
checkpoints
So everyone can download it.
He couldn't even explain-
Mergetopia.
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 Mergetopia, and it was like you gotta like feed the.
He was on his phone,
That
like
is
morning,
so funny.
evening, night. I'm like, what are you doing?
Gotta feed the
God.
animals.
And I like
and,
a bit
like-
of Candy Crush. You know?
Yeah.
I like a bit of Candy Crush, but I did not play like he was
Yeah.
playing this.
I know, like you gotta look after things.
Yeah.
There's like targets to
gotta
meet.
feed them.
I feel it. So let's leave it at this. What advice would you guys give to like any other couples that you saw like coming off a reality dating show? Like what would you tell them is like the most important things to keep in mind as they adjust back into the real world?
I would say some of the most important things off the top of my head is number one, like you don't have to be together to be successful as well, because I feel like a lot of people stay in relationships that are almost fake, and that can be really hard on the soul. And I've seen like friends of mine or known friends of friends that have done that. So that's number one. And number two is just you really, really have to trust that person. That's for me, 100%. You have to trust them.
My thing would be like when you come off the show, definitely give yourself and the other person the time to just be alone for a second, which can be really tough because the first thing you want to do, like you feel like you're a unit, which you are, but you feel like you've got to stick together and like be with each other 24/7. That's not healthy.
Right.
Like, we made that mistake.
Because you're doing that on the show, which is like, it's like
you
in dog ears, is what we always say.
And you've got the pressure.
Yeah, we always
exactly how
describe
it
it like
feels.
that.
Yeah, and you've got the pressure of everyone on social media, like, oh my god, where's this person? Like, you take a picture
Yeah.
of like, you and your friends.
You're like,
all
where are
the
they? They
comments
broke
are
up.
like, where's Kayla? Where's Kayla?
They broke
Are you
up.
broken up? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like my like suggestion would be like just give each other a bit of time. Go and do your own thing, see your own family, your own friends, and like, you know, maybe in a month or like a few weeks go see each other again or whatever.
Yeah.
And do remember you're a team as
Yeah.
well. Like, so you are a team and like
Yeah.
support
We're on
each
the
other.
same team. Yeah.
Support each
I
other
think
and
that's-
like don't be so like on top of each other. Like just support the decisions that each other are making and guide. Because at the end of the day, like she's here for me all the time. I'm here for her all the time. Whether she thinks or not, like sometimes I'm quite like critical of what she does, but only because I want the best and I know how good
But
she is.
sometimes too, I feel like obviously I know social media better than him.
She does.
Sometimes he's like, that's not a good decision. I'm like, it is. Trust me, it is.
But that's what you're
Yeah.
both here for that.
You
You know
gotta
what I mean?
trust
So
each other.
that would be my decision. Like remember like who your partner is.
Yeah,
and
it sounds like too, like from what I can see, like you guys have very good communication styles, like
had
even
to,
here, and yeah, you kind of
Oh,
have to
yeah.
have that, but that's like so important.
Yeah.
And then the very last thing I wanted to ask you is obviously you guys see like a lot of positivity, given especially that you're like still together, you guys are thriving, but when you do see like negativity online, like how do you kind of handle that?
I love to stir it.
You like to stir
I
it?
love to stir it.
Oh my
Because
god, I'm
to
like
me,
my
it's
number
all a
one thing
joke.
is to
Yeah,
tell
he's-
people not to stir it because I think it just like
It
provokes
number
them
one,
to try
don't
harder
stir
to
it.
make more accounts and to
It
keep
depends
and
what
it
you're-
lets them know that it's getting to you.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
my thing, but
It
Well,
will-
sometimes-
but if it
depends
makes
how
you feel
stir.
better by biting them right back, go for it. Like I
Yeah.
think
I
it's,
think Seb really only does that when sometimes if I'll get something really hateful, Seb, as like I feel like a protective boyfriend,
Yeah.
he snaps back at them, and 9 times out of 10 he gets an apology.
good.
Right
So
back.
it's
But
kind of wild.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, I think some people can get away with stirring it and snapping back.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of my brand because my brand is very much like the like unfiltered Scottish boy.
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. that
So
makes
I can
sense.
get away with saying like what I think about that person.
Yeah.
And like all the other fans will laugh.
Yeah.
some people have tried it.
I agree that, and I think if me and you did something like that, it could also
Backfire,
it could backfire huge, and it also could result in like brands seeing like,
Absolutely.
oh no, she picks fights, or oh no, she's problematic.
And I also feel like too, as an American girl, both of us probably like sometimes we can be taken really the wrong way, like stuck up, kind of like, because we both have that like.
Yeah, that narrative is attached to you until you prove it wrong.
Yes, it really is, and it's like
you got to know your brand well.
I get people that are like, "Oh, I thought you were so stuck up because of your voice." What am I supposed to do about my voice? Like, genuinely,
that's a bad one.
You got the classic LA voice.
I mean, I guess, but
I
every girl in Oregon sounds
I know.
But I'm like, I wouldn't notice it. I'm like, I think it sounds great.
But
Yeah, it does.
But him, he's like, like everything he says sounds like a sweetheart,
right?
And less
like a joke, like
a joke.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's not that serious.
But me, like, sometimes I say a joke and people are like,
you're like, oh my god.
Like, when people are attacking me online, like I just think it's a joke. Like, I don't know this person, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
What? Somebody called me a Neanderthal, and I was like,
and he goes, babe,
and I was like, I googled it, and I was like, babe, I fucking look like a Neanderthal, kind of like, and I couldn't say shit because I was like, they're kind of right. I was like, with a forehead, I've got this like fucking monkey fucking forehead that I'm like, they've got a point, and I couldn't see anything. And it's funny, you gotta laugh.
You gotta just laugh it off. You gotta just laugh it off and leave it. There's someone behind a computer screen.
I get stuck on it sometimes.
Yeah,
so I would
it's hard.
I'm quite sensitive.
Yeah. You're a wee soul.
Yeah, I'm
nice.
as he would say, a wee soul.
Yeah.
A wee soul.
And so sometimes it really affects me, but I kind of pretend like it doesn't.
Yeah.
But then it's his sister actually that'll be like, Kayla, like, you've brought that up 4 times today. You do care. Yeah. So how about like we actually talk about it and like let's like get through it, I'm
like that too. Most things can just ricochet off, but if I'm stressed about something or if I like got no sleep, like I'll let things get to me more that normally like wouldn't, and then I have to just like talk it out or just like rationalize like, okay, this is maybe why this was said here or whatever, and then I feel a lot better.
Because sometimes too, like people will say mean things to me and I'm like, well maybe that's who I am. But then I'm like, I'm not,
No, you get in your head.
Sometimes
we all do it.
Okay,
we all get in our
I
heads.
commented about like our morning face once, and that was the worst mistake of my life. But I think it's so cute. It's like,
what did you call me?
I said you're puff. You have a puffy face.
Oh
in the morning.
He was like, yeah.
I thought you said something else just now.
What did you think I said? What did you think I said?
No, he was like, your face is. He goes, your face is so puffy in the morning, and I was like.
But like in a cute way, like, oh my god, your face is so puffy in the morning. Like,
I'm dying.
It's like so cute. It's cute, and I loved it. And like she got so offended, but I just think
I can be sensitive sometimes.
Yeah. We can all have both, but. I mean, either way, like, I'm so excited for everyone to listen to this episode, get to know you guys better. I feel like I got to know you guys better, which is awesome. No, you guys covered so many things, and I think there's a lot people can take away from this and learn from it, whether, you're just someone that loves reality TV or you're someone that, like, was on reality TV and you hit a lot of these same kind of, like, roadblocks and problems. Yeah. It's kind of all just, like, the love that comes after the show.
Well, and that's it. You've just hit the nail on the head. Like, normal people are on reality TV. It's just it's like everyday people. So
I come from a very, very normal family.
Oh, same.
Like,
just because we're on TV and like doing all this crazy stuff doesn't mean we're not like we don't have emotions and like
that's what makes it so. I think that's why people like it because they find you relatable and they're like, this is so funny.
This is what we say all the time. Like we're just really like normal people. Like I grew up in Portland, Oregon, with like divorced parents, very normal. Like mom's a social worker, dad worked at the shipyards. Like very normal.
What you see is what you get with me. Yeah. Like, what you get on television is what you get in real life.
Well, I think it's hard on reality TV to kind of like hide who you are. Like the real you is gonna come out either way.
Well, at some point
you might not have gotten a good edit for it, which might not be fair. But like the real you is gonna kind of come out.
Yeah.
But
we could have got really like.
Yeah.
We could have got really deep with the like who was like fake.
Well, maybe another
time.
No, it's fine. Maybe another time.
Another time.
All right. To everyone watching, please follow Kayla and Seb on social media. I will link their socials down below for you guys. Give this video a like. Give us a review on the podcast. And thanks so much for supporting the new series. We're so excited.
Thank you for having
us. Thanks so much. I love this conversation.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.